Hi guys, Unreal74871 here. I'm here to do a couple of reviews today. I haven't done anything on my channel for a while, which, I don't have many subscribers, so why should I care? Anyway, first thing I'm going to be reviewing today is the Vader's Vault Flex. Specifically, I ordered the TFA version. Now, these were a limited run. I don't know if they have any available right now or when their next ones will be up. The best way to find that out is really to check their Facebook. Uh, but I got the TFA version, as you can see by the glass eye and the way the activation card box looks. Or the activation box card, I should say. Pardon me. I did go for a few upgrades on it. The card is actually a sloth furnace that they offered to people who bought the Flex. And this one is actually double-sided. It has the TFA pattern on one side and the ESB or Empire Strikes Back pattern on the other. And as such, I also ordered later the red button, which goes for the Empire Strikes Back version of the Saber. Also, I got a blade plug from KR Sabers on Etsy. If you buy a Flex, his are really good. This looks pretty darn close to what you would see on a real Graflex, which, if you manage to get a hold of one of those, awesome. I went for an RGB setup on this, which, technically this Saber is always meant to be blue, except in A New Hope when it was kind of a more of a cyan, and in the special edition green for a shot. But this is my first actual Saber from Vader's Vault, other than a conversion I had them do to an old Machine Defect Star Killer, which was very poorly put together. They went ahead and upgraded the internals, gave me a new crystal chamber, all that good stuff, and I've been anxiously awaiting them to do a run of Star Killers again so I can just get a Star Killer. But whenever they put these up, I thought, this is it. This is going to be the Luke Skywalker Saber to own. And I figured if I'm going for a Vader's Vault, I might as well go all the way. Went for RGB. As of the time I bought this, their sabers came preloaded with 3 fonts. The Light Meat, which is a light side font, Dark Meat, which is a Sith font, and the Imperial Knight. I went ahead and bought 3 others. I can't remember who made them off the top of my head, but the Graflex Episode 4 HD and the Graflex Episode 5 HD fonts. I got those off of saberfonts.com and from a YouTuber named Shamim. I'm not even going to try and pronounce his last name because I know I'll screw it up. But I got his Graflex TFA HD sound font. And got those installed. So, yeah, let's take a good look at this. As you can see, that is something that's just a natural part of it being a Graflex. Got your glass eye. This is your activation switch. This little tab here, the little button there, is your auxiliary switch, which allows you to do blade lockup and blaster deflection, as well as switch between the sound fonts. Got your card. This does flip up, and this technically allows for you to open this part of the Saber. Don't do that. That is not the recommended way to change out the battery on this. The recommended way is to unscrew the pommel here, and you can see the chassis inside, and there's the battery. One complaint I actually have about this is getting the batteries out can be a bit of a pain. They do include a guitar pick, which I think is supposed to help you do that, but I ended up just using a pocket knife and basically jamming it in here and prying the battery out that way. Compared to another Saber company with apparently lesser repute, Saber Forge, they actually have a cutout on the bottom of their chassis so you can push the batteries through, but that's neither here nor there. It works fine. Let's get this tightened back up, and we'll run her through a quick boot up before I put the blade in.
I need a weapon! You have one!
As you can see, it's very, very bright. White flash on clash. Blaster deflection. And blade lockup. Let's go ahead and throw a blade in here real quick. And there goes the blade plug. Now, something you'll notice immediately is the bunny ears are a little pinched. Whenever there's a blade installed, there really is no way around that. And for a quick comparison, here is a Master Replicas. Had to look at the copyright because I wasn't sure. A Master Replicas Luke Skywalker from A New Hope. As you can see, very similar. There are differences. This one is a little, the diameter is just a little thinner than on this, so this feels more comfortable in the hand. And quick fire up on that. And then you can tell which one's brighter. Get that out of here. One thing I find really cool is it's kind of hard. Well, no, it's not too hard to see right now, but this little sort of window that you get because of the clamp, that's just a really cool little thing. I love that. Let's go ahead and cycle through the sound fonts. This is Light Meat, which I believe I have set to purple. Nope, that's green. That is green. As you can see, the Light Meat is actually set to pulse. It's not a bad effect. I don't have that on any of the rest of the sound fonts, but it's a nice effect for this one. In order to cycle through the colors, you have to press the auxiliary switch and then the power switch in about that order. There you've got blue again, cyan, which looks a little more blue on camera than it actually does, but that's because of the camera. purple. Get a little Mace Windu in your Luke Skywalker here. This one's kind of a... I wouldn't necessarily call it pink. I would call this more of a magenta style of purple. Still purple, but a little more red in there. You got your white, which has a tint of blue to it. But you look at my face, you can clearly see that it's white. Then this, I'm slightly colorblind, so I'm calling this kind of a more of an acid green than the regular forest green. Got your red, because gosh darn it, it never hurts to go dark side once in a while. Got your orange. Yellow, which I think this is a really neat color. It's not one that I would normally go with for Luke Skywalker, Anakin Skywalker style saber, but it looks pretty cool. And then back to green. It should be noted that each one of these, I didn't show it off on each one because it'd take a lot of time, but each color has its own flash on clash, and some of them are white, some of them, like I believe the orange, has a bit more blue to it. Cycle through the sound fonts again. This is Dark Meat, your dark side font. This one I leave as red pretty much exclusively. Mainly because it's dark side, and I don't really think of orange as a dark side color. I think of red. You can see a slight flickering. It's not overly pronounced, but it's about how it was in the movies. This is Imperial Knight. I leave this one as white. The Imperial Knight, I believe that the entire... Shut up a minute. The entire thing behind it is it's supposed to simulate the early concepts when even stormtroopers carried lightsabers, but they were always white. And slight note, the Dark Meat and Imperial Knight fonts, for whatever reason, as you could hear, sometimes have random swings. I haven't been able to figure out why, but for the most part, it doesn't bug me. And it is usually a good indicator on the Dark Meat font of whether or not it's about time to think about charging the battery.
This is the weapon of a Jedi Knight.
This is the Episode 4 font, which I have set to cyan because that's more or less what Luke's saber looked like. And we're going to switch over to ESB, and for such reasons, swap out the card. As you can see, this side is TFA, this side is ESB. Whoops. Slide that on in. Lock it back into place, and replace your blade retention screw. Which I've had a few sabers, and I actually like that the Graflex has these big retention screws. I don't know why, it feels more secure to me. Got your boot up, and this one, of course, I keep as blue. Now, for one more quick comparison on this, I'm going to bring out, let me get the this is my Saber Forge, what do they call him? Prodigal Son. It's obviously based on Luke's from Return of the Jedi. Now this one, I don't know if it has a full charge, but you can tell that the Vader's vault is brighter. Not that this isn't bright, I mean, it's pretty bright. I will say, this one here, this isn't a Saber Forge blade. The blade that came with this, I don't know if the film got messed up on the inside or what, but it just wasn't carrying the light all the way to the end of the blade. So, consider this an endorsement for Vader's Vault's blades. They're amazing. That off. And that one. Alright, there you have it. If you're a Star Wars fan, and particularly a fan of the Skywalker family lightsaber, I highly recommend keeping an eye out for any future runs of this. This is a fantastic saber. I love it. It is one of my favorite sabers in my collection. I've got a few more reviews going up today. Keep an eye out for them. Or hopefully going up today. I'm recording them all in one sitting, but internet and YouTube, there's no telling if they'll all go up at the same time or a little between each other. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Until then, take care, everybody.